Sonic 1029.
Hello!
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Simon, thanks for taking the time to chat. I'm sitting in a room that you have performed in. I'm looking at your signature on the wall right now, and it feels like forever ago that was. What was the last performance you had before the shutdown?
I think the last performance that I had was in Germany. We just got back from a European tour in November. And on the way home from that tour, I started to feel really weird. And that led me to fall into a very awful depression. And we canceled the next tour. So we canceled the tour. And so the last show I played was Germany last November.
Well, it's good that you're putting your mental health first. That's a big thing. You can't be your best on stage if you're not your best inside.
Yeah, for sure. I just thought it was the right move.
You've been very open and transparent about your mental health, and I want to know more about that. Why is that important to you?
You know, at first, I didn't really think anything of it. I would just write songs and talk about how I was feeling, and that was just that. I didn't think too much about it. But then when we released Spirits, I got so many emails from people saying that they were listening to our music to get through a really hard time. And I never thought that by putting songs out to the world that people would connect to it like that. So that kind of made me go, okay, I struggle with mental health. I struggle with depression and anxiety. Should I talk about it or should I not talk about it? And ultimately, I hope that I'm doing the right thing by talking about it, just to help lower the stigma and to let all people out there who are struggling know that they're not alone, because I've been through it too. And you know, it was a hard decision to talk about it publicly, but ultimately I decided that I thought it was the best.
I'm in that community. I relate to that hard. I'm neuroatypical. I got bipolar, ADD, all the anxiety and depression that comes along with that. So kudos to you for talking about it, because it's a weird thing to talk about, because it's something you want to be open about and you feel better after you talk about it. There is so much stigma surrounding it. So using your art to form a community like that is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. And I hope so too. And you know, I just really hope that people hear this music and connects with it and helps them like music has helped me.
Yeah, you're not only talking about it, you're using platform, you're using your music. And this song, The Greatest Enemy, the one line that really jumped out at me after listening to the song a couple times is feeling like I can be anything I want to be, but I know I'll always be my greatest enemy. That one hit me to my core. When were you your own greatest enemy?
I have been my own greatest enemy ever since I was 18 years old. I fell into my first depression. And from that point on up until today, I have been so hard on myself. And if anything goes wrong, I blame myself. If a song doesn't do well, I blame myself. I've tormented myself for so many years that I just felt like I needed to talk about it in a song.
Okay, I like that sense of surrendering to it. Is that fair to say that you're surrendering to it? You're not going to blame yourself anymore?
That is so funny. Literally, I had therapy yesterday with my psychologist and we talked about surrendering to it. So you're right on the nose with that one.
So what do you want people to take away from this song? I know that there's a sense of acceptance and back to surrendering, but what do you want people, when they finish listening to this song, what emotion do you want them to have?
Well, I just want people to know out there that they're not alone in their struggles. And, you know, especially younger people. Like when I fell into my first depression at 18, I didn't know what was going on with me. I had no idea. I didn't even know what depression was. Like I had to learn what it was and deal with it and stuff. So I just truly want people to know that they're not alone in their struggles and that it's a real thing and it sucks. And you know, I'm going through it too. So
yeah, I really relate to that because the first time I fell into a depression, I was 14 and I had no idea what was going on.
yeah,
No idea, right? So I think talking about it and even a conversation like this to young people watching, listening, and especially during this like crazy time, I hope that people know they're not alone. And I'm really glad that you're putting this kind of music and energy out into the world. I think it's fantastic.
thank you very much. That's really nice of you to say.
Well, thank you very much for your honesty and your transparency. I look forward to more music and more stories from you.
Yeah, thank you. This was a great interview. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Simon.
Okay, bye.
Have an awesome day.
You too.
Bye. Are you Sonic? Sonic 1029.